Hey guys, it's Michaela. Welcome back, or welcome to my new kind of set. Today is a very exciting day. I am finally reviewing the Canon G7x Mark III. I have been waiting for this camera for 3 years, and just to hold it, I can die now. So what are my overall thoughts in 30 seconds? This is an amazing camera if you're looking for something small, easy to use, but still gives you decent quality footage. This camera would be great for the vloggers, the casual users, the occasional travelers, or for the weekend photographers. If you're new to the camera world, you want something small, something easy, something you can take to pretty much anything, the G7x Mark III is great. It's a step above your iPhone, but it's not quite as complicated as a DSLR. I think this camera definitely serves a lot of the market at the moment, and everything I'm saying, it isn't new. This is what the Mark II gave to us, so let's get into what the Mark III has in store. So if you've been watching me for some time, you know exactly what I use the G7X for. I need something that's really small, easy to use, that I can take basically everywhere with me to just turn on. I leave it in auto most of the time and hit record. It's basically something small and convenient that can just naturally fit into my day of life, my style of life, my lifestyle. So basically, if I can't turn this baby on and start talking in a couple seconds, it's really not going to be the camera for me. So to test the Mark III, I took it on a wedding. It was my friend's wedding. She had it in Bathurst, which is a country town here in Australia, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we're in Bathurst. Woo! We are on our way to the reception.
No, the ceremony.
Oh no, the ceremony!
Yeah.
On our way to the ceremony first. I found the interface to be super easy to use. As we all know, Canon has a super easy to use interface. There's prompts to help you out. It's very easy to navigate. Everything is where it really should be. And with the touchscreen, you can just completely flick through what you need to find, select what you need, and off you go. You're gonna hear me say the word small about 50,000 times in this video, but look, it's so small, and it's such a big advantage. The size is so convenient. You can hold it in one hand, hold it with two hands. It's not in the way, it's not obtrusive. For people who vlog like I do, you don't want to be drawing too much attention to yourself, so it's nice to get away with the shots that you need to grab. Even though it is small, it does feel really dense. This guy has a bit of weight to him, and I don't know about you, but I definitely think that it feels sturdier than the Mark II. If you've had a Mark II before, let me know, because I think they've built this a bit more properly this time, and that it can take a bit more of a hit. Not that you should ever hit your camera. And the great thing about it is that you don't need to know all of the tech, you don't need to know too much about your ISO and your aperture and your shutter. It does have manual mode, but again, I leave it in auto, and I think most people who are entering into the market to get something this small will most of the time leave it on auto. Let me know. You've got a brilliant exposure ring on the top. It's basically lighting for dummies. If it's too dark, turn it up. If it's too bright, turn it down. You've got your record button right here. My one problem is it kind of is a little risky to hold it in one hand and press record. You kind of have to swivel your thumb that way and the camera does dip. So press record, hold in two hands, and then you can go off with one hand. Now, if you remember, the audio on the Mark II wasn't the best. It was kind of tinny, it was just, the microphone was in a similar position. I think the big sell about the Mark III is that it does have a mic input. So there's a little mic input there where you can stick in a mic. This is all well and good, but let's be honest. How often are you gonna stick in a mic and move around in a vlogging situation? Again, for vloggers, I'm not sure how easy it is to use a mic and the camera at the same time, especially when you're out and about. There's no clip-on kind of mic situation here, so if you do plug in a mic, it's gonna be dangling maybe when you're vlogging. If you're just filming videos at home, whatever. You plug in the mic, you leave it there sitting next to it or hanging, as I did beneath my tripod for another video, and it was fine. So we're gonna do a quick audio test and we'll jump into that now. Okay guys, this is the audio test. I've got the small Rode microphone. I'll get the exact details here, but this microphone is now plugged into the input in the G7X Mark III. Let me know how it sounds. I'm sure it sounds delicious. This mic, even though it's small, does the trick. You'll probably find a theme that I like small things that work. So I'm gonna pull the microphone out now so you can hear what the audio sounds like in an enclosed space. I'm literally like 2 hand spans away from the camera. Let me pull the mic out. Okay, so this is the audio straight from the G7X Mark III in an enclosed room. This is what it sounds like. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously it won't sound as good as it was when the mic was plugged in, but for some of you, maybe this is as good as you need it. So just to keep that in mind, the microphone is an option, but without it, this is what it sounds like. But obviously you can imagine watching my Bathurst footage how windy it is and how that performs in an outdoor setting. So let's go back to the review, or go back to Bathurst. Cut. Zoe, where are we about to go?
Ice cream, Annie's.
Annie's ice cream at 11 o'clock in the morning. We've had multiple people tell us about, heaps of people have told us to try this ice cream, so here we go. I found the Mark III very similar to the Mark II. It was so easy to fall in love with this guy all over again. The color quality is that classic Canon color. It's beautiful. So even though I'm ranting and raving about how much I love the Mark III, there were some things that didn't quite hit the mark for me. I found that it took a while to focus. Now, I'm not sure if it's because it needs some time to warm up or if it was because it was a low light situation, but I did find times where I would turn it on and I would have to wait. And if you know me, I don't like waiting. I want to turn it on, tap where I need it to focus, and then it should just get there for me. I found a couple times I was tapping the screen, trying to get it to focus, trying, and after it didn't focus for a while, I would move the distance of the object away from the lens, back and forth, to try and get the camera to focus. Sometimes I have to turn the camera off to turn it back on, and yeah, I have a very short patience, very short fuse. If it doesn't focus straight away, I'm immediately furious. So maybe I do have an impatient kind of need for this camera to work faster than it does. Let me know if you have one, if the focus is a little slow for you. Am I in focus? How long is it gonna take? There we go. Another thing I found that wasn't the greatest was the stability, or, you know, the image stability. Obviously, the smaller the camera, the lighter it is, the more shake you're naturally gonna get. I wasn't sure if it was because I was especially shaky. I usually consider myself quite a steady filmer, but I just found that occasionally when we were walking around, there was a bit of a rattle, a bit of a shake. But the good news is Xeon have made a very small gimbal for basically point and shoot cameras. So it does fall into the realm of not an iPhone gimbal, but not a DSLR gimbal. It falls in between. So if you're really wanting some great quality cinematic footage, I'd highly recommend investing in a gimbal for something this small. I don't think that the footage is that stable. Consider also warp stabilizing or stabilizing it in post. So there were things that I found that weren't too good, but weren't too bad. So I'm just gonna mention them now. The battery life, absolutely no complaints from me. I found the battery life quite similar to the Mark II. How I shoot is I turn it on, I shoot, and I turn it off. And I find that by the end of the day, I'm at about half to 3/4 battery, and I just charge it at the end of the day. If you're someone who loves to just keep the camera on and just record when you need to record it, I would highly recommend buying a second battery. But for someone like me, where I'm recording every now and then, the battery life is absolutely fine. Photography, obviously this is a review more from a vlogger perspective, but hey, we take photos as well. I was pretty happy with how the photos came out. Again, Canon's dynamic range is great. I have no problems with low light. It does the job. If you're looking for this to take occasional photos, nothing wrong with it. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the time-lapse feature. In the Mark II, it was very easy to find. I could turn it on really quickly, set it up, and let it go. But in the Mark III, they've actually buried the time-lapse feature a little bit harder to find. I don't really mind this because it's not like I'm turning it on and getting a time-lapse in a rush. Time-lapses do require some setup, so it is harder to find, it is harder to use, but it's still there. And I think the time-lapse feature adds so much quality, a little bit of interest to anyone's vlog. So if you're looking for something that's diverse in its capabilities, photo, time-lapse, video, and something so small, this is the guy. So to summarize, I think the Mark III is great. It's small, it's easy to use, it's similar to the Mark II, but it feels sturdier, and you also have the option of putting in your mic. So if you're filming at home, the mic's gonna do you wonders. If you're out on the street though, let me know how you adjust your mic to attach it to the camera. I'm not sure if there are cages out there that you can put the camera in a cage and then attach the microphone to the cage. But again, that goes against my strong belief that vlogging cameras should be small and easy to use. It has everything that the Mark II has, but it just feels better, maybe because it's just brand new to me right now. Either way, this is the guy you need if you are a casual vlogger. I can't recommend this guy enough. In my case, if I'm going to something that I want to vlog, I don't want it to hinder my experience. I want the perfect balance between living in the moment and enjoying my friends and family, and also something that I can just whip out and get the footage that I need in order to tie the experience later in a vlog. I think this camera finds the perfect balance in just seamlessly incorporating itself into your lifestyle. If you're unsure because it is more expensive, go for the Mark II. I think the Mark II was brilliant. I had no problems with the Mark II. The same problems I had with the Mark II are kind of the same problems I had with the Mark III. But if your budget just isn't there, go for the Mark II. Go for something lower. It is cheaper at the moment, obviously, because this is a new release. There's nothing wrong with the Mark II. If you've already got a Mark II and it's still performing at its best abilities, do I recommend an upgrade? I don't know. Technology is always innovating. Maybe aim for something bigger if you've got the budget. But again, bigger cameras with bigger lenses aren't everyone's piece of cake. Sometimes you do just need something small, no matter how professional you are, no matter what knowledge you have of cameras. Like myself, I use the bigger things at work, or I have experience watching people use the bigger things at work. But in my own personal life, I'm not gonna be shooting vlogs on a Red. I'm gonna be needing a tiny little point and shoot. So if you're in the market for something like this, if you're a casual vlogger, if you just want something to take along with you and something to insert into your life to get into the lifestyle of filming and editing and, documenting your own life, this guy's for you. I definitely don't think you'll be disappointed. So I think that's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope I didn't fly through everything too quickly, and I hope the footage that I did get was enough to give you a great sample of what this camera is capable of. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, obviously like it. And if you like my face, subscribe, because I'm around here every now and then, and it's nice to check in on all the people who come back every week. So that's really nice. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.